Welcome back to another episode of the FNtasia podcast. We've got Coach Harry, Boop, and myself in the building. We have some things to talk about. It's going to seem a bit weird, the initial framing of this episode, especially if you've read the titles and whatnot.
Doom.
We're going to be talking about a subject that we touch on here and there on the pod, but it's a more general Fortnite topic rather than Fortnite competitive, and it's concerns around Fortnite. Is Fortnite dying? I woke up this morning actually, and I was seeing tweets from the usual suspects going, "Oh my God, Fortnite dying! Lowest player count in the history of the game recorded so far," which I believe that might be true. I don't know if that's true, but it probably seems true. I saw like really low player counts. I think it was like 2K on ranked battle royale, 300K players active. I would like to say my first thought when I saw it was, it is like 3 a.m. when you're posting it. Like they waited till like the time when it would be the lowest anyway. Like it was like really late for NA. Most of NA sleeping. Most of EU is like waking up in school. Like it was a terrible time for the screenshot. But even with that being the case, the player counts have seemingly been lower recently, and it's something that we have all been sort of like talking about and looking at. And obviously it's a weird contrast because we've just come out of globals, which felt like the best global championships ever. Comp's going in the right direction. We've got these crazy announcements for next year. But if the overall Fortnite player count is going lower, there's a conversation to be had there. Paired with that, there's also some stuff to do with like Fortnite trying to compete with Roblox as this metaverse thing that I think we can sort of get into. But I'll start off just on a blank statement. Like, are the player counts worrying you guys right now? Like, is this something you guys are concerned about as we look towards the future of our beautiful game?
Obviously slightly. I think it's one of those things you can't ignore, but the competitive player count, as in the people playing tournaments, it's still a decent amount. It hasn't dropped the same as Battle Royale has. So from a competitive standpoint, no. But obviously, if, for example, I took a screenshot this morning of it and it was ranked Battle Royale had 4K, and you're like, oh, it's early in the morning, and then still the Brain Rot had 70K. And then you look at that and then you're like, there's actually a problem here. So it's definitely worrying for sure.
I mean, all the players are playing Steal the Brain Rot instead of Ranked Battle Royale. The comp players as well, specifically. Yeah. Like, we've had people want tournaments to be moved because Steal the Brain Rot live events going on mid-cast cup, Like, it's worrying for these guys. I can say from my personal experience, like, we've had, like, because obviously I host scrims and we can see it in the scrim lobbies and the scrim, how many people play the scrims. Like, I think we've had, like, record-breaking numbers almost in terms of the amount of people that were playing duo scrims, like, a few days ago, right? Like, we hit like 3,000 active queues in duo scrims, which is like 3,000 people in a singular queue, 1,500 duos playing that, which is like numbers I haven't seen in quite a bit. So on the competitive side, it's not that worrying, but at the end of the day, it all compounds, right? It's all interlinked. It's all, in the same boat, because the problem is if the main game dies and competitive is thriving, well, we don't have the prize pool to fund the competitive side of things. They're obviously overspending in terms of competitive. I don't know personally what the interest rate is on the return. The return of interest here is when they do fund $8 million into tournaments in for a year. They probably lose money. Let's be honest. Maybe they don't though, because they sell FNCS pickaxes. There's a genuine way to fund the competitive scene without having to rely on Hail Marys here. So that's the concerning part for me, is like, okay, the main game has to thrive because we need people to buy skins, to fund competitive. And if they see that the main game is done, they might be like, yeah, well, this year we're going to like half the prize pools because like we don't have the budget for it anymore because the main game is dying. And, hearing things inside and outside of Epic Games, the casual side of things don't really look at comp too much, like they might not know that it's thriving. So they just might assume it's all in the same boat and say, fuck it. Let's reduce prize pool. So that part's worrying for me. But I haven't felt like anything's in danger in terms of like viewer numbers or scrim numbers or sponsorships or things like that. Like everything's been on the up and up, at least for me personally. So
yeah, and I think this is why it's key that we almost have to make the distinction between comp and the rest of the game, because I think generally speaking, what you guys are saying is like it doesn't feel like competitive is struggling from those things. Obviously Epic on their side would know better because they have just more data, but empirical data that we have doesn't suggest it is getting worse. I'd say if anything, like the engagement's gotten better, right? And when you look at the direction the game's going in, you talk about the potential worry of, hey, if this starts becoming a problem, do they start to pull back away from comp? Maybe the arguments that they actually go harder into comp, right? I remember
the opposite,
a funny narrative people used to make like back in like 2021 or whatever, like when things were a bit rough and people were like, I hope the game dies so that they just fully commit to comp because, the comp players are the ones that stick around the longest.
True.
If they're struggling to keep people engaged with some of their other experiences, but engagement in competitive is at staying at a stable rate, if not growing, I think there's more incentive for them to invest in competitive, right? How do we make more people competitive players so they stick around for longer? And maybe there's an argument to say that that's what they're doing, right? We have more lands next year. We have more of these, experiences. I think on a casual side, I don't know if Tim Sweeney was watching Globals, right? But I'm sure some Globals, some high up at Epic probably watched Globals and went, hold on a minute, this is exciting. We've never seen
pretty fucking good,
right? Yeah. So, I would not be surprised if this doesn't affect comp at all, right? The conversation we're having. I don't think it will be a problem for comp. If anything, I see it being a benefit for comp. Everything that's happening right now, I think just comp is doing fine. The problem is, like you said, when you look on the casual side, when you look beyond that, because as we know, because we've spoken about it so many times, Tim Sweeney, Fortnite, Epic, they're clearly on a mission to create this whole big multiverse thing, right? They're interested in competing with, Roblox, which is a very different game in many ways, which we can highlight, but they want to be that type of game. And, it's funny because I've seen a lot of like the creators who are maybe more casual creators have this conversation recently, right? Like Cypher BK just straight up started playing Roblox on stream and stuff. And it's like, oh my goodness, like what's going on here? And I saw a very interesting. Oh, what are you gonna say? But
I was gonna say the funny part about that is like the comp scene viewership on Twitch is crazy compared to the casual. Like I saw Nick A30 on 800 viewers 3 hours into his stream playing Fortnite when the brother was on 15K like 4 months ago getting griefed in customs. So like the viewer count is still there, but all these new creators are like looking at it as like, oh shit, do I need to transition to Roblox now? Like, is it too late?
Right.
But sorry, continue.
Well, no, even that, like to sort of add to that, I recently was at the Gorillaz concert that they did in London. Shout out to Epic for the invite. # Epic partner. # add # Epic Games.
How the fuck do I get that, by the way? Because I'm still not an Epic partner somehow.
Yeah, don't worry, I got connections. And at that, they had invited some other creators as well. Some like big YouTube content creators. A bunch of them were like more so like Minecraft focused guys. And I'm like talking real bit. I was like, how am I invited to this? Like, these guys have like multi-tens of million subs on YouTube type people. And I asked a bunch of them, I was like, content wise, like, what's it like? Because obviously they do maybe Minecraft primarily, they do a lot of Roblox. I know some of those guys. And I was like, content wise, like Fortnite, do you still do as much Fortnite as maybe you did in the past? And they were like, content wise, like Fortnite, it's harder right now, like for the casual type of stuff that we make. And so there's clearly some disconnect there where like at least the content creators are struggling to, I don't know whether it's struggling to innovate, struggling to capture the attention. Like I'd love to speak to one of these types of creators and like figure out from their POV like what is going wrong. Why is it that the Roblox stuff is doing better than Fortnite? But speaking of Roblox, there was a tweet from Sir Dusty Dirks. He's the CEO of a company called Moisty Media. They do a lot of really sick like Fortnite animation stuff. I've actually worked with him in the past on some projects, so he makes some really cool stuff. Shout out to him. If you ever see like a really cool Fortnite 3D animation for like a creative map or something, like he's probably one of the people behind it. And he basically said this: Fortnite and Roblox are completely different games reaching for the metaverse vision. With the majority of Fortnite's player base choosing Roblox-style games over the original experiences, the two games' fates are intertwined. Roblox's biggest weakness is its lack of visual charm, brand, and professional polish. Fortnite's biggest weakness is that it's so branded, artistic, and visually impressive that this creates a hardware barrier for players. Both games will be chasing each other to the middle over the next few years. Roblox will experience graphical improvements, and Fortnite will need to reduce its footprint significantly. More powerful hardware will become readily available faster than Roblox will be able to evolve their engine, so this convergence will take place at the top of the funnel. where Fortnite is waiting with open arms. Fortnite has an enduring culture, community that allows its players to age with the game. Cosmetics and collaborations, the past and present combined, play a major part in this, and I believe this is our greatest asset. He makes some excellent points that I think come to are actively showing in what Fortnite's been doing, right? I think yesterday was the official release of the Fin client on mobile, or something along those lines, right? I think I saw a tweet about it. So like they've made the game smaller on mobile, where you can basically load the experiences that you want or download the experiences that you want. And I think that's a vision they're moving towards in general. They're clearly focused on trying to capture and allow more people to play the game. I remember Reese, I wish Reese was here because I remember Reese had a tweet that went sort of viral about this. I think the sentiment from him was like, is this going to really affect like players that much?
I agree with that.
So yeah, like what do you think on that part of things? Like Fortnite clearly needs trying to take a step back to become more accessible. Like, is that?
See, I don't fully agree with this tweet. I think there's a little bit of cope involved here because I don't think the biggest weakness for Fortnite is its hardware barrier. You know, we see the overwhelming amount of console players and PlayStation players, things like that, of people that are able to play it. I played Fortnite on my phone. You know, I played the Reload tournament, whatever the fuck it was, and it ran fine. Like, obviously, there's a barrier to be able to download the game. Like, I had to delete a few pictures. You know, like the grandma family pictures had to get taken out of the photo book. You know, for my phone. Otherwise, I couldn't download my favorite game, unfortunately. But I don't think that's really like the biggest way down here, right? Even then, they did release a small client, and I think it was like 15 gigs still versus
16
Roblox,
gig,
like versus Roblox, which is like 500 megabytes.
500 megabytes.
Yeah. So like even then, like I guess I can see that a little bit, but at the same time, I don't think, like, are we really gonna hit 20 million people numbers on Fortnite if they make the game 500 megabytes? I really don't think so. Right? For me, the issue for Fortnite is there's like a lack of distinction of the actual core battle royale mode and then like the creative side of things, right? And like when you say, hey, let's go play Fortnite, you're thinking about the game. When you say, let's go play Roblox, you're thinking about all the shit you could play on Roblox, like RP and all that stuff. So I think there's like a branding issue here specifically on that. And the second thing is, I think Fortnite's, what I do agree with is that I think Fortnite's polished, but I think it's too polished. This is one of the criticisms I've always had of this game. It's like, it's too safe. Okay, maybe that's wrong to say. It's too like brand friendly, and it makes sense why, because they want to protect their Fortnite IP, they want to protect their brand use. That's where the money is coming from. But at the same time, you're isolating sort of this teenager to whatever type of metric, which I think is like the most popular metric more than possible, that just wants to do dumb shit, you know? Like they want to play Murder Simulator in Roblox. They want to do RP in Roblox where they can fucking, you know, talk shit to other kids. Like that's the gaming culture. Like, you know? Yeah. Fortnite's too woke. That's it. No, I don't know. That's why I'm not an epic partner. But you know what I mean, right? Like I think there needs to be a little bit more openness. And one of the great first steps that I saw a lot of positive reception to was voice chat. Like voice chat battle royale. Like that, bro. That I've seen 100,000 streamers say like, bro, I would play this shit every day. Stable Ronaldo said, I would play Fortnite every fucking day of this voice chat because there's so much content. There's so much.
He is capping.
I mean, he is capping, but there is content available for it.
But it shows the excitement about it.
Yeah, you push more to that edgy type of metric, which I think Fortnite definitely lacks because it's not really cool to play Fortnite anymore. Not that it's cool to play Roblox, but like at least you have like the variety of gameplay in there.
I mean, on top of that, I always think of it from like, if we're talking obviously specifically about Fortnite, and I want to like touch on like the battle royale side of things, right? Because obviously we're talking about creative and how they want to go into the multiverse and all that sort of stuff. And obviously Fortnite's core gameplay is a battle royale. If you're a new player coming into Fortnite, right? Like you're a brand new player, maybe it's someone who saw from competitive, or you just like, I want to go back to Fortnite, right? What can you play, which is the core for Fortnite, right? You go to play the battle royale, 90% of the lobby is full of bots. Okay, you're like, okay, I want to get a better game mode. Let's play ranked. Ranked is very boring to play. Very, very boring to play and doesn't feel competitive or a step up at all, really. Saying, okay, we'll play reload. And even in Reload, I saw a clip from Nick30, which was like, I think out of like 21 kills, 19 of them were bots in ranked Reload. And it's like, I think that problem makes it so unenjoyable to play. You don't feel like you're actually playing against people or an online game or anything like that. So then everyone goes, oh, I'll play creative, because creative you play against people, whether it's you play zone wars maps, whether you play 1v1s, whether you play stuff like Steal the Brain Rot or whatever you play, you get a better experience playing that than you do playing the core gameplay, because the core game modes, because of the way they're doing things with the bots. I just don't think it's enjoyable to play. I don't think, if you're watching it, why would you watch Cypher PK or Nick A30 play pubs? It's not enjoyable. Like, what? Oh, it's a lot of fun watching the new update and then kill some bots and then what? Like, there's nothing really going on. So I just think they need to fix that. Whatever about the multiverse and whatever about the like going into the thin client or whatever it is, I just think that could all do well. But if you don't fix Battle Royale and give it a reason for people to play it and distinguish a difference between ranked and Battle Royale, make ranked, obviously they are saying ranked 2.0, please be good. Like if ranked 2.0 is good, I think there's a huge chance it could have a revitalization of, you know, the good casual players. Maybe you see someone like Cypher PK play ranked because it's better than playing pubs, and it'll make it better for content in that way as well.
Overwatch 2 type of
vibe, Overwatch 2, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say, Harry, because I don't think you're particularly wrong. I think there definitely needs to be a lot of work into what the core traditional modes of Fortnite are, right? Because I think that's a problem. Like, regardless of whether or not the UEFN side of things can catch up with what Roblox has to offer as a product is a big conversation itself. But on what were the traditional modes, what I think is interesting though is that maybe there's an argument that that's not where their focus is, maybe, or at least for Fortnite there's this thing of like, yeah, we'll do that, but that's separate. Like, they don't want what you started off by saying, which is like, you come on Fortnite and the main thing to do is play Battle Royale, right? They want it to be so that you come on Fortnite and there's so many different things that you want to do. If Battle Royale is one, so be it. But if there's other things, those things are just as good, if not better. And, you know, there was a response to the Seth Dirks, Dusty Dirks tweet that was interesting. It got quote retweeted by Mark Rain, who obviously, if you don't know, is the vice president and co-founder of Epic Games. So, you know, this is somewhat of a big deal. Mark Rain and, you know, Tim Sweeney be tweeting all the time, so you could say that forever. But I found this tweet interesting because he said, I think this is a solid analysis in response to what Dusty Dirks had to say. And he said, from a straight technology point of view, our company has always benefited from being on the cutting edge and having the bottom come up to meet us. Plus, we are building a lot of new functionality and content that will evolve what's possible to build in UEFN in stunning new ways, and hopefully will make it easier, more fun, and more prosperous for developers down the road. Now, this is something that I've noticed from all the UEFN people who I follow. A lot of the complaints since UEFN has come out has just been the tool set we have doesn't allow us to deliver the types of experiences that can potentially capture these big audiences, right? Which is why when you go to creative nowadays and you look at the maps that are popular, it is like the bloody bait tycoons, you know, or just like PvP, you know, comp type maps, you know, like 1v1 maps and stuff of that nature. So
yeah,
it's interesting that, like, you know, they clearly want to improve these tools, and I think that's a lot of what we hear from the Epic side of, like, yeah, we're going to keep bringing out these things, but ultimately, like, how much does that allow you to really, you know, compete and capture, you know, the competition in terms of Roblox? Because you make an interesting point, Boop, earlier of like, it's a big culture thing as well. Like, what's cool with the kids? You know, you might be able to provide these tools, right? And the tools have gotten so much better over the years. Like, I jumped into like a map the other day, and I was like, bloody hell, man! Like, it's you know, it feels further and further away from Fortnite. There's more and more like things that they're able to do that they just weren't able to do before. But I still feel like that's not necessarily enough. Like, there's I don't know what it is, right? And that's why I want to have these conversations with people and try to figure it out. But like, there is something that Roblox clearly has on a culture level that is just going to be very hard for Fortnite to capture.
Do you think it's just time? Honest? Just like because
No, I
Roblox has
don't
been
think
around
so.
for so long. Like if Epic
Is
keep going along this
Roblox
way,
older? I actually don't know.
Roblox is way up. Roblox
Yeah,
has been around
Roblox
since
was
like
when I was a kid.
I was
when
never
we
a
were
Roblox
little
person.
kids.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Let
been
me
around
look.
since we were
Roblox
like
release date
little kids.
2006.
Oh
So
wow,
it's been-
okay.
So like if
Okay.
enough time is given where Epic are going down this route, can we see in 10 years then with the next generation, maybe Fortnite is competitive? And it's just so far down the road that it's like a long-term plan.
Mm.
So I'll be honest, I fucking hate this response from Mike. Because I feel like there's a very, very lack of connection to what the core issue is here. Like the his take here is essentially no, like we're the top of the top because we're cutting edge, and it's maybe some of the core issues like we have to convert to UEFN5, we have to do to this different movement mechanics, different gravity mechanics, different this and that. The engine's getting updated. It's going to be more realistic, different lighting, X-ray lighting. No one gives a fuck about that shit. No one cares. I feel like that's such a small core community that care about that sort of thing. And it's like the super ultra casuals and those aren't your money makers, you know? Like the fact that he thinks the problem of this game is that it's far behind in technology and that it needs to catch up. Bro, Roblox is like 2 fucking pixels and there's these big chunky dudes that look like Kanye West in that one music video, you know? Like that's Roblox. And people still play that shit. Like I think this is such a diluted take, in my opinion. Like, you need to go back and look at what makes Fortnite fun. You don't need to make it more complicated and more like diluted. Like, I really don't like this response at all. It does not give me any faith in like the direction of someone that's meant to be the co-founder or the vice president of Epic Games to like creating or improving this game. Like, this isn't what makes Fortnite better in the future by making it more technologically advanced, you know?
Well, I think
the other
maybe
thing is Roblox has like the core like unique way of looking at it, right? Like if you look at a Roblox game mode, you know it's a Roblox game mode. There's nothing wrong with that. Like it's fun to play CS in Roblox. It's fun to play murder mystery in Roblox with these square characters. Like that's fun. I don't know. That response actually low-key worries me.
I think maybe what he's trying to get at is the fact that like when he talks about like improving and adding technology, I think he's talking from the perspective of like giving the UEFN people more tools to work with to create better experiences, right? I think that's what he's getting at. Like I think because I think a lot of the UEFN community, and if there's any people watching in the comments, like let us know in the comments if this is representative of how you feel. I think a lot of them feel like they can't yet make the type of experiences that they would dream of making, that they maybe could make if they were on Roblox, right? Like I think the tool set there to be able to create the types of experiences without certain like dumb restrictions and like dumb workarounds that are like gimmicky and don't like actually interact well from like a player perspective, like it's just not possible right now. And so I think he's saying that like we want to provide more of that, like we want to develop more things like that to help people make those experiences.
Yes, but at the same time, I don't know. I just don't really believe it that like that's really the future, right? Like the problem is as well, like do these people like I've seen the creative community, I follow all these guys, and like their main response is like they're like, we make really good games. Like
and
really
nobody
good
plays
games,
them.
and nobody fucking plays them. Well, no shit, they're boring as hell. Like you can make Dragon Simulator and like you get cool dragons, but the 13-year-old kids don't give a fuck about that, you know? So like I feel like that's his type of perspective. Is like, yeah, we're gonna try to give these guys goals, but at the end of the day, the map makers also have to make cool shit that people want to play. And there is cool shit. There's murder mystery. There's Steal a Brain War, whatever. Those are copied Roblox games. So maybe there's some issue as well in the culture. I think coming from the creative side of things, but I don't know how much more tools. Obviously, I'm not a developer and creative. Like, I don't know what the capabilities are, but I'm sure there's enough in there that you can make good enough experience that people want to play that are fun. The problem is all these motherfuckers are acting like game developers. All they have is like ex-game developer for Microsoft, this and that, and they're trying to make something in Fortnite because there's this idea that we have to make Fortnite beautiful and technologically advanced and that. But like at the end of the day, no one wants to play that shit.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting because, like, I always see those same tweets as well, Boop, where they're like, yeah, like, we
They're
spent
so
months
obnoxious.
on these, like, incredible experience, and, like, people still just want to go play the pit instead.
Nobody owes
like,
you anything. Like, make good games.
Right. And I think there's definitely a disconnect there between, you know, the people, like, building some of the experiences versus what the audience wants. And what, like, and I think the key thing that people need to understand, and I think the reason why a lot of the experiences that are popular is because those are the experiences that are based off of what people have been primed in with Fortnite for so long, right?
Yeah.
Like, naturally, if I've spent the past 5 years playing Fortnite Battle Royale, what's going to be a more natural game for me to want to play? 1v1 Reason Map or fucking Dragon Simulator?
Dragon Simulator.
Do you know? Like, it's, yeah, I mean, like, there's a, you have to understand the core base that you're already working with. I think I just need to learn more about Roblox, because even, like, one thing that's a disconnect for me that I don't understand, I know Roblox not perfect. Like, Roblox has so many content moderation problems. Like, I swear we're gonna see, like, I think we already have seen it, but like, we're gonna have some big lawsuits from Roblox soon, because, like, there's a lot of, like, bad content moderation stuff I see
100%.
all the time. Like, to the point where if I had children right now, I would not let them play Roblox. No chance in heaven or hell I would let them play Roblox. But like so, how is it so big? I know it's been around for so long, but it's so big. Like, when people were doing the whole, like, wow, Still the Brain Rot broke their own record, they've got 500k players, I was like, this is amazing, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then somebody, like, screenshot, like, the Roblox version, it had like 12 mil or some shit.
22 million is what it peaked at.
22 mil it got to.
I was like,
how's even 22 million people in the world, man? What the fuck?
Yeah.
no, but honestly, like, that's the meme that I sort of was like, like, I didn't realize, I knew Roblox was the biggest game in the world, but like, how is it this big? Like, is the content world of it so much, but like, how are there so many kids, like, playing this? And like, what is the difference there? Like, what is the disconnect between that and, you know, what Fortnite is able to sort of capture into? Because, you know, there was a time where, like, player base wise, the two games weren't far off each other, like a couple years back, right? So like, what is it now that I that's what I don't understand, and I guess I just need to educate myself more on Roblox. But it's quite amazing to me because it's
Isn't
still
it owned by Tencent? Isn't Roblox owned by Tencent?
Everything's owned by Tencent.
Yeah, I'm just like, hold on, I gotta look behind my back before I say this. Like,
Epic's
yeah.
Is it Epic owned by Tencent as well?
Maybe. Is there a world where Roblox is faking their numbers? Like, I mean, it's good marketing, no?
You got 23 million.
If I'm not here next
insane.
week, chat, then you know why it's, you know, like. But like, I mean, dude, it's good marketing. Like, holy shit, 20 million people. Like, I want to download Roblox to see what the fuck's going on. Why are 20 million people playing it? You know, it's like the ultimate marketing tool. I mean, that's what people in League of Legends, I know Harry knows about this. Like, the Chinese numbers always lie about how many people watch League of Legends. You know, and that's just pure marketing to make people go and watch more League of Legends in China. I don't know, maybe, but I don't get it. Yeah, I really don't get it.
Yeah. Well, what's the Alvarez? What is the solution? Is it just keep doing what Epic is doing at the moment and hope the numbers get better? Is it, well, what's the solution?
Well, yeah. Well, to circle back to one thing you said at the end there, Harry, is like, is this a long game? Like, there's a part of me that feels like you almost can't afford to play the long game, because like, if the game just died, like, eventually people just will naturally, like, lose interest more and more until there's just nobody playing the game, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, you can't afford to play the long. Like, eventually at a certain point, you have to prioritize, like, growth, right? Like, the shift has to be like, how do we just grow the players, at least so we have people on the platform to try these experiences, which I think they did a great job of, like, not too long ago, when they were doing all the OG stuff and the drops and the you know, and the Lego stuff drops and everything. It's like they found a way to grow and capture people and get people involved. It's just when people were here, the experiences weren't sticky enough for them to stay. So I don't think they can play the current long game that they're doing. Like, and I'm sure they have stuff up their sleeves because it's Epic and they've done a great job of doing that for the past 7 years or whatever. But yeah, I don't think they can. So in terms of like what next, like what do they do? That's a tough one, man. Is there an argument to say like what you said, Harry, of just like, let's lock in on what we're good at and what we've shown to be good at in like improving like the BR experiences and like just like getting people back on there.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
You know, and then like, you know, seeing what people like get involved in and like on a UFN standpoint, and obviously give them more tools, because I'm sure people can create better experiences, but yeah, it's tough.
But what they're doing isn't working, because we're having tweets every day that it's the lowest, and then the next day is we're back at the lowest again. We're running it back. It's like we have to like. I just think the foundation of the game has to be better. And right now, if I went to like there, I just don't understand what is the reason for any person to play Battle Royale for Fortnite, unless you're kind of a competitive player. I see zero reason. Like it is, unless you really want to look at a collaboration they're doing, like there is just nothing that is interesting about casual Battle Royale or ranked or anything along those lines.
All my TikToks, Fortnite streams are all reload.
Yeah.
It's always reload. It's never anyone running around in Battle Royale.
Yeah. Is there an audience within Fortnite that Epic hasn't isolated? I feel like I saw this similarly like in the creative scene. Like, well, a lot of these creators and these developers are like, man, they're not listening to us. And then we hear the same in competitive.
Yeah,
they're not
every Fortnite.
If only you knew. And then the casual players like they're not listening to us. They only focus on the comp people. And then the creative people that they only listen to the casual. Like, there's like a severe disconnect, and it's been going on too long that like. I think the Fortnite had too much success to like, you know, we're too big to fail at this point, you know, like we don't have to listen to these bums. Like we hit the gold mine here. Like, why would we care if these guys don't like we have the money to do it? But now I think they're realizing like they've pretty much single-handedly isolated every single compartment of the Fortnite scene, from the creators getting fucking stream sniped every day in Twitch, complaining about it, nothing being done. The comp players having cheaters and whatever issues with creative, to the UFM people who aren't getting the tools that they want or like the marketing that they want or whatever. Like they've cemented a lot of it. Now I love Fortnite as a game. Like I only say this because I want it to improve, right? Like there's a reason I dedicate a lot of time in like the private Discord to like saying things that are different. But 99% of the time, shit just goes under the radar and none of it's taken into consideration on the competitive side of things, even for like big pressing issues. So like, yeah, I think it's understandable that a lot of people are just kind of sick of it, and especially like top creators are like trying to transition to other things, and you know they're going to take the audiences with them. AK Cypher PK or Nick A30 trying out Roblox. Also Lachlan, I think Lachlan just hired a content manager, and he's paying him like 180 bands a year to be his content manager for Roblox. You know, if you guys need a job, like there's a severe disconnect on multiple sides in Fortnite competitive, and then. I don't know. It's one of the things that I think was the catalyst, maybe not the catalyst of it, but one of the things I said early on when they decided to bring back OG Fortnite. I said this on before they announced it, that this is the worst idea you could ever do, is having OG be a game mode that is consistent and always in the game every single day, because you take away that one tool of bringing back the nostalgic players to come and look at your new experiences, to look at your creative maps, to look at your new battle royale experiences, your collaborations, whatever. They, you know, I mean, obviously they're not going to listen to a bum like me on Twitter or on Twitch talking about this, but like I felt like it was quite obvious that in that moment that bringing back OG as a game mode that is always in the game is literally going to kill off 99% of your casual audience, because they're just going to get bored. Like nostalgia can only carry you so far. It's like giving a drug addict drugs every single day, you know? If you cut them off of it a little bit, then you know they want more later on. Horrible analogy, obviously, but like, you know, to suffice, that's kind of what it is. You can't give everyone everything at once, because otherwise they're just gonna get bored and go to other things.
Yeah, 100%. I think the last thing I want to say about Roblox, and I just had a look when you're talking about, obviously we're talking about player counts, everything like that. Look at the numbers they get on YouTube. So I've just did a scroll, and there's videos with 5 million in 2 days, like easily 500K in a few hours. Like these still the brain rot YouTube videos on Roblox are getting millions and millions and millions of views, and trying to break into that is, I mean, that is so hard. I just think Epic need to do what they're good at, you know, a good Battle Royale experience, which people enjoy, be the best at it, and have other experiences outside of it, which can also be good, will just be the foundations of a good game. It will keep people coming back to the game. It will keep people wanting to enjoy the game. And I just think they're trying to compete with, as we saw with the numbers, one of the biggest games at the moment. And it feels like that is a hard task, and I feel like they're seeing the downsides of it.
Embrace the cringe.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one of the last things I'll say on this before we go on to the next thing. And maybe it's like a devil's advocate thing to sort of go, because I generally do agree with what you guys are saying. But if I'm gonna try like give a devil's advocate, I do think there is a case to be made that like that would lead to just the ultimate death of the game anyway. I think their thing is like, how do we pivot and create like this new thing that is the reason that like for people are coming to Fortnite. That isn't Battle Royale, because, you know, before Fortnite and before Roblox established themselves with these like games, like these metaverse world games, a lot of how we used to talk about gaming was like in phases, right? Like we had phases where like different types of games come in and out of popularity. And there's a case to be made that like BR has reached its peak, and it just like BR will never capture the masses like it once did. And so it's like trying to recapture that old flame, like keep trying to chase that old high of what like the peak of BR was, probably just doesn't lead you down a road of success. Whereas like maybe we actually just focus on trying to develop the next thing within this Fortnite metaverse that we've created. That is what brings people back on a consistent basis. Whatever they do though, I hope they figure it out, because I love this game. You know, I love this game.
It comes from a place of love. We want it to be a good game.
For sure. Look, we have duo cups starting back up this week. The duo divisions are coming back. As of the time we're recording this on Tuesday. The first day is today. You can play it today. If you are listening on Wednesday, you can play today. We've seen some new duos. Last week there was a performance eval. We've seen some new duos. What I want to do is I want to read out some of these new duos for you guys, and I want you to let me know if you think these duos are going to stick or if they're going to split, right? Because naturally, whenever we have like new teams and new people joining together, like you get the honeymoon phases, you get the people all excited, but some of these teams ain't going to be around for much longer. Some of the teams I'm going to read out on this list might not even be together still. So if I'm wrong and there's updated, let me know. But yeah, let's have some conversations. Of course, we're going to start off with EU because we are the world champions, the global champions.
We are, yes.
We are. Yeah. Some obvious ones. Vanya and Swizzy back together. Stick or split?
Stick.
They're winning FNCS.
Yeah.
Right back into it.
Yeah, 100%.
Right back into winning.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just think they were so good together, and they didn't even get to play a LAN together. So I think it would be harsh for them not to even get to experience that. And they were probably the best EU duo we had going into globals that year. So I think, yeah,
I mean, it's the only duo that's like first and second at globals, right? I think that currently exists.
Yes.
Yeah. Queasy, Venna, and the other, yeah.
I agree with you guys. I think that's an obvious stick. This is an interesting one because they obviously used to play with each other, then they split, and when they split, they both went on to do like amazing things and develop themselves as players quite a lot, and now they're back together. Pixie and Wox, split or stick?
I think split.
Oh.
Do you want to go Boop or?
So my reasoning is that I think it's quite easy to fall into the trap of W key equals good bunk in EU when we've known historically that sort of playstyle just doesn't really work. Then maybe some specific duos that we'll probably come to later on I think will work, but this one specifically I don't think so. Honestly, it's about work ethic specifically. Like Wox's trio never wanted to play scrims. Maybe that's on Malibu or on Pings or on Wox, I don't know. But I think that team needs direction. And I don't think you can just run it down. It honestly depends on the meta. If it's Crash Pet meta, then they can do a lot better. But like, they're not going to be consistent across seasons, which means that 6 months is a long time to really stick together without any notable results. Looking at some of the other duos,
I think that there'd be. I'm guessing you agree, Harry, right?
I agree with them splitting. I think they'll split because I think other duos will split, and then there'll be better options. That's the reason why I think that's. I don't think they'll be winning taunts. They'll be coming like 5th to 6th, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit lower, just top 10, and then there'll be other duos which we'll get to, which will split, and they will just make a lot more sense, and that will end up in them split. That's what I think.
I like that point. There's a couple other duos who I think that's the case for as well, where I think they're good duos, but I think they'll split because somebody else is going to split and then still, but we'll get to them. Interesting. I feel like I get what you're saying, Boop, but at the same time, I think there'll be people listening to this going, well, the last time we had duos in EU was, Chapter 5 Major 3, and that was won by Vico and Flixie, and the whole world was going, you need to put 2 fraggers together.
Yeah, but Flixie's got a little bit more background in IGLing, though, right? Like, he was IGLing in the Venom trio at some point as well, in duos. These are 2 pure fucking fraggers that have only been fraggers the whole life, They were born and bred as fraggers, so maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe, obviously, these guys are professional gamers. They can figure out how to IGL, vote to a little dead side, something like that, but it will take a bit of effort, so that's just my initial feeling.
Yeah. Hey, Raz, if you want to cook up another masterclass. I was gonna say stick, but Harry, your point sways me because there's some teams who I think will look to target these guys, but I genuinely think like these guys are probably like one of the safer, just like one of you said, just like top 10 / top 5 teams like every cup you play, and like I feel like at this stage it's probably just not, if that's what your level is, it's probably just not worth splitting. I feel like that's like a good place to be at until we know what next year is going to look like. And then maybe you decide to split. But Coach Raz, if you want a project to work on and get glazed for another year, pick up these guys, eh? All right. Yeah, there is. Sky and Scroll, split or stick?
Oh,
yes, I'll agree stick, because I think the other Danish duos will probably be fine as well. I just think they're just like, there's 4 Danish players who are just above them, and then this awkward level where if they split, they have to drop down a level to get someone, or one of the other like tier 1 Danish players have to drop down. So it's like an awkward level for them. So I think they'll just end up sticking.
I don't think there's enough Danish talent, and I think those guys want to stick Danish. And the only time they split is if Thomas HD decides to be like undepressed after last year and be like, okay, it's time to fucking go, guys, one last time, If the Michael Jordan tweet. But
if Thomas does come for one of them, who does he come for?
Sky.
Okay, I'm with you guys on that one. I think they stick. This one's an interesting one to me. Vico and I drop.
We haven't actually seen them play yet, have we? Or unless they played.
No, iDrop's definitely sick. Yeah, and Vico's on holiday or something.
He played the eval with someone else. I forgot who he played with. But Focus. Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
It gets expanding my chat all the time. Like.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know about that one. I would probably go. I'd go split. But I don't think they'll do bad, but I just think those 2 type players, it's not like, for example, as we said, Wox or Pixie or Sky or Scroll, people who have played together before. There's a lot more unknown there, I think. And I just think there's a high chance that maybe they have a run of like 2 cups which goes bad and they just split, because it's not like they're not forced to like work through a lot of problems. It's not like you played together before, and if it's a bad meta, they're forcing to work through problems. I think there's a higher chance that they just split and go find other people, I think
this one was a weird one for me. How did this team come together? Like, have you asked Boop? Because I know you're close with Vico. Like, how did this one get cooked up?
So obviously Vico, Flixie, Venno had a bit of a speed bumpy year. So like there was no chance Vico, Flixie, or Venno would ever play together with each other. The idea was obviously that Vico and Flixie would play together, but obviously that didn't come to fruition after everything else. I don't know specifically if this is like born out of something specific. It's just more like, hey, I'm iDrop. I just came out of a Polish trio, so like I ain't got nothing. And obviously he doesn't have his own country brethren other than the Savage. And then Vico, all the Germans all want to play with each other except for Chap, and then Chap's playing with Flixie now. So I think it's just kind of born out of necessity more than want potentially. But
yeah, because a lot of the duos that get made are like often like quite obvious, even if they're ones that won't work out, right? Like it's usually the obvious option of like friend group person I played with before, same nationality and we're both two good players. Let's try. Like, it's always just very obvious. But this one to me is just very like, it's almost alarming to me because this one felt like, oh crap, I don't have anyone to play with. Like, who's just the best available player that I know somewhat, which like isn't a position you'd expect Vico especially to be in. Like, you'd think like Vico would be more of a hot commodity. But again, like you sort of highlight, there are some like awkward fits there that I guess make it maybe weirder. But we'll see. I think those guys split, not because they're just bad. I just feel like there's probably just better options out there for both of them that just make more sense. I don't know. That one just felt like a weird one to me. Next one we'll do Malibuka Panzer.
That'll stick.
This one's a stick. I said this, bro. I think I said this to you guys.
Yeah.
Malibuka has been wanting to play with Panzer for so long. He literally used to play every cup with Panzer except for EU cups. And it was like he couldn't rationalize playing with Panzer because Panzer was still just like too unknown, too much of like, you can't drop Mustache to play with Panzer, you know? Panzer's finally had a good year on his own, proved himself as a top player. Malibuka's like, my guy, finally. Finally.
You've ascended.
No, literally.
Everything you said, I agree with. It's like, it's one of those things that I think they'll have their honeymoon phase as well. They'll do well like in these upcoming cups. I just think, they'll stick. Also, there's probably only one other option for like a good Russian player who's probably not in the duo that stick is maybe Mustache. But like apart from that, it's like I just think those two are just going to end up sticking. I think they work too well. They'll work too well together.
Yeah, I don't think Mustache Malibuka is ever happening again after the Demon situation. I have heard other things of potential Mustache teammates coming out, but obviously those can't come out light. I think Panzer, like, even though like it's one of those things where like you do really good in globals, but like I don't think your stocks go up that much, you know? Because like, have you really ascended into the tier 1 kingdom yet? Probably not. So you're still in tier 2 hell, and then there's no one that he can realistically split from Malibuka, who's better than him. Other than maybe if he plays with like Seti or something, but like Seti's going back to Poland there. So and then Malibuka is just doing this thing, you know. For me, even if they do badly, I think they stick. I think they're like content after this year. So
yeah, I think this team. Okay, the question is then, just give me a yes or no. Is that an FNCS win level team?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. All right, we'll do a couple more EU, then we'll get to some NA ones. Some interesting EU ones. We won't get everybody. Sorry, guys. Like, we just can't possibly get everyone. I don't want to be here forever. We'll do Queasy and Veno. Is this a stick or is this a split?
Split.
Unfortunately, split. This is like your parents getting divorced and coming back together, you know? Like, they're coming back together because they remember the good old days.
Yeah.
But like I feel like the marriage game has changed a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm yapping here. I just have a feeling like it's gonna go good at the start, but I think there's gonna come a point where like Veno loves leading, and I saw this, like, he played like a session of scrims with Chap yesterday, and you could see like the shining bright of his eyes, like every time he had to lead and fight in the mid-game torps, you know, he was loving life. I think playing the high ground is too boring for the man, and he's on his frag orc, so I think Veno loves control and wants to lead, and I don't think he wants to be sort of like the I mean, this isn't a bad thing, but like the dog of the trio, right? Like being led somewhere, then only have to listen to someone. So that's my reason, not because they do badly. I think they do fine. I think they do well. Maybe even win an FNCS, but before that point, I think there's like there's a difference there. Maybe even in the streaming situation, because I don't fully believe that they're going to stream everything. Like, people always say that, and then when you have an FNCS on the line, maybe that causes some friction.
I mean, I agree with everything you said. I think if you think about it as well, it's like they're already, if you watch their nobles, it's not looking like the honeymoon phase. They won the first game of Noble. Everyone's like, they're back. And I've watched a lot.
It's over for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've watched every other game of Noble, and I'm like, what am I watching? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I just really feel like if you put these two duos, like, you know, you've got the Wox and Pixie and Queasy and Veno. If you just went Queasy Wox, Veno Pixie, those two duos are just better. They just are. They're just better duos. And I just think they both get to lead. They both get to play the way they want to play. I just think it's a waste of both of them obviously for Vino to not IGL and for Queasy not to just have someone who's accepting of just being a dog. Like, I just think it is one of those situations. Just, as Boop said, like, it just, you got to have one. But
I said no offense.
Yeah. But it's just I just think it's better that way. And I just and also it's 5 months until FNCS. You're telling me they're going to, as you said, stream for 5 months, do well for 5 months, have no arguments for 5 months. Like, if you said this to me like a month before FNCS, I'd still have worries that they would still have arguments and then split. But 5 months is a long time in Fortnite.
Yeah, it really is. As someone who will be, in call with them every tournament, trying to make the vibes good again and whatnot. I am worried. I do think your analogy, Boop, is like the spot on analogy of just like, it's like when a divorced couple tries to get back together. I think it's also very much like that like phenomenon of like girls want you more when you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I think both of them always want to play with each other more when they both can't play with each other.
The idea is better than the actuality. The idea is
right. Because I know these guys have been like spent like the past bloody year and a half like flirting with each other, like whenever like that,
If I see another Veno Queasy edit on his Twitter,
like Queasy, Swizzy, Mustache have like a couple bad tournaments, and like he sends a DM to Veno, and like Veno, Vico, Flixie have an argument, like Veno's DMing Queasy like, miss you, bro. It's like that type of thing, and then it's like let's actually play with each other. Like, oh, what happened? It's weird because I do think. I was watching their scrims as well yesterday, so I saw a lot of the stuff you were saying, Harry. And there was a moment where someone in chat comments, it's like a bait troll comment, but I found it so funny. I don't know why. It was just like, why are two IGLs playing with each other? They need a fragger, but what I found it really funny was just because I actually do think there's a world where like you can have like two IGL type people play with each other. Right, like I don't think that's a bad thing objectively. Like people make it out to be. Like I think having two people who have like a good opinion on the game is good. Like ideally, I think you almost even want that. The problem is that I think both of these guys are not the type of IGL that's willing to share the responsibility of decision making.
Yeah.
Like both of these guys want to be the one where it's like my way. Let's do this my way.
Also after the situation, right, with Queasy winning globals, like he is the guy now.
The power dynamic, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like the power dynamic shifts those two have had. Like you can argue, right? You can argue part of the initial problem before they split was obviously they had that season 6 out of 12 where like Veno was calling in end games or whatever, and so it's like you could tell he started to feel more confident as a leader. Does he trust Queasy as much now? He has a good year. Queasy has a good year. I mean, but now it's like Queasy holds the card. Like he's the GOAT IGL. He just won globals. Yeah. You got to listen to him. But Veno might still be thinking in the back of his mind, like, no, I want to do this my way. I get why you guys are saying split. I think this team will be one to follow. And I think more importantly, like you mentioned, Harry, this team will be the one that will cause other teams who would be just fine to split. Yeah. For sure.
I hope they stick though, because I think it's fun to watch that team.
It will be so fun to watch. Yeah.
If they can make it to FNCS, I think they, as you said, I think they have a chance of winning because,
and then they have to stick.
Yeah, it's like you have two IGLs or two people who understand the game making grand finals. They will do well. That's the nature of it. Like it's kind of what we saw with Queasy and Thomas. Obviously, Thomas is not an IGL, but you have two people who are a good understanding of the game. Maybe they didn't qualify as many during cash cuts and things like that, but when it comes to it, they did extremely well. So I just think if they can get to that point and they can work through these 5 months, then I think there'll be a team to watch for potentially winning FNCS for sure. But
yeah, they should be like top 5ing every grands if they make it to grands next year and they're like playing. Okay. Who do those guys, if they split, because I think you both said split, who are the new teams? Like, who do they go for, each of them?
I already said it. Mine is Pixie.
Yeah, you said yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think mine is Vino Chino, and then Queasy and Mustache.
Ooh, I like that.
I think mine would be Who's Chino playing with right now? Chino's playing with
Noxy.
Fred. Oh, that's hard because you're Harry's one is cleaner because you're breaking up just one team, and so it's like the obvious. But then the Chino, maybe I'd go like Veno, Pablo, Queasy, Marius. That's like a cleaner split.
Okay,
you can like break that away easier.
Yeah, I don't see how Fred and Chino split, by the way. But like,
that's the problem. Yeah,
I just when I heard Veno Chino the first, I'm like, fuck yeah,
that's a really good.
That's gonna be so good to watch.
Yeah, that'd be a good deal. All right, last EU one we will do is we're not doing EU one, so let's go to NA. All right, NA. Peterbot Poyo, split or stick?
Stick. I mean, I think the funniest thing is everything Peterbot's basically come out and said about it. It's like, look, if he basically just said Aegis is a better player than Poyo, but Poyo gets the best landing spot, so I want to play with Poyo. Like, that's just what he's basically come out and said. It's like, you're basically just, you're in the whole Poyo, Poyo's in good debate. He's not even saying Poyo's that good. He's like, guys, he's whatever. There's better players out there, but Poyo's the best off spawn player, and I want the best landing spot. I'm done with landing at dud spots. And I mean, I just think if you give Peterbot and Poyo the best landing spot, 3 out of 3 FNCSs, they're probably winning 2. Maybe not, maybe all of them. Like, I just think, for sure they're sticking.
Yeah, it's funny because he even like was dissing him as like an endgame player. He was like, if it was just about endgame, I'd just keep playing with Cold and Ritual, right? But it's just the off spawn is like just so much better with Poyo. I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah, you make a great point. Like, this is like the divorced couple came back together, but like one was a little bit more abusive and just took all the shit, Like, that's basically Poyo, It's like, you can beat me, you can talk shit about me, it doesn't matter. I still love you, I still love you. I mean, unfortunately, that like Poyo is like the greatest fucking teammate you could ever have. Like, he has been landed on by Pete. He's been fucking called shit by Pete. He's been grieved.
Game 12 land on,
and it still doesn't matter. He still plays with Peterbot,
Fucking so, like, Poyo's dad in the practice room, like, I want Peterbot to win, man. If my son doesn't win, I want to.
And Pete's like, fuck you, Poyo. Fuck you, Acorn. Try me, pussy. Like, bro, like, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, like, Poyo just. I don't know what it is about Poyo. He's just the greatest guy to ever live, apparently. And then Pete's just Peterbot. And like, how are they ever gonna split when they're winning everything? Let's be honest. So.
You know what? I as much as I hear what you're saying, when you actually look at it from Poyo's POV, it's like, do I just play with the best player in the world? Oh no, he said,
call me bad. A bitch. Fine.
Oh no,
he griefed 1 FNCS. I'm gonna win the next 3. Like,
you know what I mean? It's like when you actually weigh it up, maybe it's not actually the hardest decision for him.
Also, that M8 contract's more juicy if you have Pete with it, for a renewal.
I mean, the negotiations,
like,
the negotiations.
POV guys, come on, like.
Wait. That I hope his agent is listening to this because that is 100% fact.
I mean, he got signed to M8 during that contract negotiation where they had to like sign the contract, and like I know I've heard his salary is like that's crazy salary, so they must have negotiated that shit based off of Peterbot being like, like we'll play with Pete guys. Like, look at this, you get the Pete POV live. Like, they must have felt scanned, but now they got they still got a good one.
It's coming back, for a bit. All right. That's a pretty obvious one then. Cold Ritual.
I think they'll stick because from what you see, they're like really good mates. I think they're just like good mates. I don't think even though the only thing I would say is Ritual's obviously a grinder and Cold has basically just came out and said during the entirety of Globals that what's the point in grinding the game? I still win if I don't grind the game. So it's like I think that's the only downside, but I think they'll stick. I just think they're 2 good mates.
Stick for me as well. I think them 2 getting to work with Sven again as well is also key. Like those like 3 seem to have like a good relationship, good vibe going on where like they all seem like they're pulling in the same direction. So
yeah.
I would say they stick just off the base of like who's the only other person Cold could play with. It's like an Aegis maybe or something like that, or like a Canada. I don't know, maybe not Canada, probably not happening that. But like if he's gonna split with Rituals, he's gonna split for someone who wants to grind, so he's not gonna do that. And also, Cold just doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, all right, let's queue up for the tournament. Let's go. Like, it's not he's gonna be like, oh man, we're doing badly. I need to look for a new teammate. Like, he's just living his life. And is Richie really gonna drop Cold, like the second best player in NA or whatever? Like most people say, like, no. So like, there's no order they ever split, in my opinion. So
Yeah. Yomzo Ages.
I think they'll split.
Split.
I think they'll split.
Interesting.
I don't know about that duo. Everything that's come out about Clix, Yomzo, and Higgs is just it feels so weird. Like the whole like mentality thing that everyone's been saying about like, oh, if they're not in first place, they'll literally they're just not playing. They'll just like play to like drop 20s, and they don't care if they come like 8th or 15th. To them, it's the same. Like I understand that mindset, but in global championships, it's like you could have done a Cammy and iDrop and Jari comeback. You know, you could have got 4th place, which is a great placement at global championships. I know it's not winning, but I don't think Uncom Supernova is the most insane spot to land. But I think that's a downside for Yomzo. And I think for someone like Ages, I just think he will have a lot of options out there. I think that realistically, if they don't do well for a couple of cups, and they are looking good, so that is like, if they do just keep looking good, it's not a problem. But if they don't look good for a couple of cups, I could see Aegis getting a bunch of options in NA, but loads of different players who would want to play with him for sure. He's had a great year. His stocks are the highest they've probably ever been. So I see no reason why if they're not doing well, he just looks for someone else.
Problem is I don't like. Again, it depends on like the level Yomzo's playing at, but like it doesn't get much better than Yomzo. Like I know obviously the ending of this whole like click situation is like bad, but if you look at this year in NA, right, who were the people getting best in NA shouts over the course of the year? It was Pete, Cold, Ages, and Yomzo. Like Yomzo during season Major 2, and they were like amazing and looked like they were going to take down Pete. Everyone was like, bloody hell, this guy's so good. And I've always been a big fan of Yomzo. I've always thought he's one of the best players in the region, and like maybe he doesn't get the credit for being that. I think if he's playing at his best, I think if everyone take all the players in NA at the top level, right? I think if everyone's playing at their best peak level that we know they can play at, I think on paper, this is the second best team in NA. With Ages being like grand level Ages, Yomzo, like I think on paper, this is the second best team. So I'm going to say, I'm going to assume they're going to have, like, again, I don't know how they did in that eval, but I think they're probably going to have a good start, and there just won't really be much of a reason to split. And so I'm going to say stick for these guys.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think I said split. I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't know much about Yomzo, other than from what I see on Twitter. But I get the feeling he's kind of like a Tayson type of teammate, where like he's really good, but like slightly abusive, maybe slightly angry. But we never hear the comp, so I can't verify that. But if that's the case, I don't know what the dynamic's going to be in that team. I have no clue. There's no reason for them to do badly, but that like at the same time, like I don't think anyone's beating Peterbot and Poyo, right? So like I don't know what that does to a mental of a team that's that good. Like if it's just purely based on skill level, like top tier, you know, Age is one of the fucking greatest in fraggers in NA, and then Yomzo's been like probably like the best player on the Click trio, right? Other than globals, maybe arguable. But like you know, like. What does that do for you as like as a team if you just can't beat Pete and Poy? Like, who do you split for? That I don't know. It's a hard one. It's definitely a hard one.
Yeah, no, I understand your point. I would say on like the personality thing, he's not like the traditional what we think of Tayson, but I do think there's definitely like an acquired personality. You know, like you have to. Like you got to be able to deal with his personality, but it's not like he's like he's not like mad toxic on the comms and stuff. He's just like, you know. All right. Kanada and Arc.
I like this duo. I'm just a Kanada fan. I'm just gonna say I'm a huge Kanada fan. So whatever Kanada was with, I was just gonna be a fan because all Kanada needs in duos, from I've probably talked about 100 times, is every game of Kanada's the same when he IGLs. It's they will get enough search, I'll be 300 above, but they'll get into 50-50 and be the most scuffed team ever. Then they'll get a random refresh and they'll somehow get 5th. And that is just every single game of Kanada you'll ever see. So getting one of the best fighters coming out of global championships on your duo, it works. It's a match which sounds like it should just work. If Art can reach the levels, he's already at the levels, but if he can reach the levels which everyone is saying he could reach, I mean, I have no reason why this duo wouldn't work.
I mean, this duo could only be better if Canada was playing with like some random up and coming Asia player, you know. Then Harry would be even more ecstatic.
Exactly, yeah, yeah, I'd be hyped.
Honestly, I do respect. I mean, it's not like this is like a random pick, you know. It's like Ark was like third most kills at globals, right? So like I do respect Canada, and he's always done this in NA for like going outside of his bubble and trying to find people that are like up and coming. He played with G Money, you know. He played with I forgot who the other person he played with, but you know, he's always tried to kind of expand out the box of tier 1 NA, and you know, with good success a lot of the time as well, right? It's why he maintains to be one of the best players in NA. So I really like this duo. Yeah, I think it's a stick.
Okay, we'll do a couple more then. We'll do 2 more then. Acorn Bolts.
This is an interesting one because Bolts has gone through the weirdest year. At the start of this year, he was so hyped up. It was Bolts versus Peterbot.
He was the answer to Peterbot at one point.
And then we had the cryptocurrency arc where he's literally playing tournaments on mute, communicating through emotes in game. And now we're back to Bolts as one of the best fraggers on NA. So I have no idea what Bolts you're getting. But if you're getting one of the best fraggers on NA, then I think it'll work. Acorn has the run that every first, I can't remember how many it is now, but it's like the first FNCS of every year. I think for the past maybe 2 or 3 years, he's won. So I think, I mean, if Bolts is playing at that level, I have no reason why they shouldn't be towards the top of the leaderboard for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't see any reason for them to split. And the only is there an upgrade to Bolts that would be like readily available if they split? Like, is it going to be an Aegis type of vibe? Like, is Aegis coming back? I don't know. I don't think so. So I think stick.
I think this is probably best case scenario for Acorn in the sense of I think he needs like a fragger who, and I don't mean this in like an offensive way because I don't know Bolts that well, so maybe this isn't even accurate, but I think he just needs a fragger who's not gonna like question his decisions and just like it's just gonna follow, right? Because Acorn, you know, he'll have seasons where like he's just in the game, in tune with every decision. He can't make a wrong decision. We'll have some seasons where things maybe are a bit more shaky and the games are a bit more rougher. They're not as clean. And I think with some of the maybe players on Bolts' level as fraggers, a lot more of them are inclined to IGO and call themselves at times. And so when you have a player like that in a season where your IGO isn't providing maybe the value you want, it's more likely the vibe's sour, right? Which is why I think like someone like Aegis probably it doesn't work just because again they've had rough seasons this year, right? They've had rough times this year where like I'm sure if you're Aegis in the back of your mind, you're like, go IGL, love the guy, but maybe I want to play with somebody else, you know? So I think Bolts is really good for them. I hope these guys stick because I think this is a good duo. And the last one. Can't go without talking about the face of competitive Fortnite, the icon himself, Clicks and Higgs. Stick or split?
I will go split, I think.
That's a stick.
Wow.
We've agreed on a lot. This is probably the first one with this.
What's the rationale here?
So my rationale for stick is the power dynamic. Clicks is his boss, so he can't really sneak him as easily. Now, to be honest, like I think this is a stick. I don't think they'll do well. That's my first take, right? That like I don't think they'll do well at all. I don't think there's like something in that duo that makes you go, you know, this is like wow, they got that shit on. Especially after the year that they had, you know, they had some ups and downs. I don't know how you really recover from that, you know, unless they all fully put the blame on the Yomzo, which they might, you know. But at the same time, the only person I see like someone getting split for is like Batman Boogie goes back with Rapid, you know, it's like fuck it, let's run it back, you know, like Rapid was really good at Globals as well. Oh, actually, not really. Actually, he got like 0 kills day one. Never mind. But like maybe he's like, okay, let's bring back the magic. But I don't see who Clicks would play with if someone splits in NA. Like I can't think of a single person like Canada, because Canada gonna maybe, but like Canada's got like all these good fragger options, like why
it's
would
been
he
so long since we've seen Clix play with a good NA player, right? Like it was Veno who came to save him. Before that, he was playing with Epic well, so it's like you almost can't. It's hard for me to imagine Clix playing with one of like the top NA guys, weirdly
4
enough.
or 5, yeah.
I don't think any of them would want to play with him just because Clix
exactly.
streaming and everything like that,
I mean, it's just Clix and Savage is going to happen. It's got to happen. Like they've been talking, the storyline's been building. They've been talking about it. Who's better? I just want to see Clix in EU. I agree. I think Higgs might go back with Rapid. He might split to someone else, and then Clix is going to have no one. Like I just think he will end up going to EU. I really want to see it. I'm going to manifest it because I really just want to be able to watch more of Clix, to be honest. And I'd love to watch Clix and Savage together. I think they'd work really well together with BloodX as well, which obviously Savage has worked with before. I think that's a good combination, and I hope it happens. And it's more hope splitting than maybe like logically, but we'll have to see. I just want to see him on EU for one season.
I don't want to be the bad news bearer, but like I think on a business level, this is sad. It's not even Fortnite we're talking about. I just think on a business level, it's so bad for either one of them to do that you just don't do that. Like Savage going to NA would just be bad because he just gets completely just sucked in by Clix, and Clix going to EU is just like you're just neglecting your NA. Like his whole audience is just NA. Like you're just putting them in like an awkward spot to where it's like you just never do that. I think for either of them, sadly. As much as I agree, like I'd like to see it, but it's just I don't think it makes sense.
This woke thinking about the business. What about the love of the game? What about wanting to be on the best region? What about this? What about get the best practice? Boot camp on EU. Like love of the game. Fuck this business bullshit. He's already got enough money. Do it for one season.
True.
I mean, like, no, like I think Clix. I don't think it can work. I think there's a world where you can almost make it work if you had like hyped it up beforehand and like you make a thing out of it for like a period or whatever. But just like indefinitely, like we're just gonna play together and I'm gonna go EU and we're gonna like figure it out. Like I just don't think that can work. I don't know. It's just unfortunate.
And like it doesn't even make sense as like the best option for each other, even in like game style, right? Like the content side of it, I could see it being worth it, but like it's like, bro, come EU, come EU, like then Savage benefits. No, come in, then Clix benefits, like there'll be that internal struggle. That's the only reason they would ever play together. But like in terms of like, is that the best teammate for them? No, like definitely not. Like for each other, like it wouldn't make any sense. So I don't think that's happening.
Honestly speaking, Clix has to like get in this Canada bag, I reckon. Like Clix should have been trying to play with Arc,
Yeah.
Like I feel like you gotta get the new
Clix IGL the one.
You just let Blood.
I mean, you just go fraggy with it.
Yeah. You actually play Trios.
I mean, it's NA.
No. You actually just get. It's NA. You just get fraggy with it. Ask Blood to do a masterclass and get on your way.
See what happens.
Yeah, no, literally. I think that's your best case scenario. All right, that was fun.
That was good. Looking forward to duos.
Let us know which duos are you guys excited about in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts on Fortnite dying, quote unquote. And we'll see you guys on another episode. Peace. Bye bye.